What's going on, guys? Tower number 9 here, and I want to present some results here from SCG CON Columbus. This was the first big event for Star Wars Unlimited in Set 3, Twilight of the Republic, and it was actually a 3-day event. There were multiple days of Star Wars Unlimited events. There was a 2K event on Saturday and 2 1K events, one on Friday and one on Sunday. So the 1K event on Sunday has yet to be played, but the Saturday and Friday events have been finished, and I want to take a look at the meta at this new event, as well as giving you some other thoughts on the event as a whole, Star Wars Unlimited tournament play, and so on. First major event of Twilight of the Republic, and the first major event with Boba Fett banned. Let's see how the meta ended up looking. So this is the SCG CON Columbus Friday 1K top 8. So there was a Palpatine from set 1, Cunning base 30 HP, 2 Jango Fett Tarkin builds, a Grand Moff Tarkin Blue, I believe 30 HP, a Quinlan Green, I believe also 30 HP, Han 2 ECL, Anakin Skywalker Blue 30 HP, and a Kira Green, I think also actually running 30 HP. So we had a nice mix here of leaders. There's leaders from set 1, 2, and 3, and we had 7 different leaders in a top 8, which is pretty good, to be honest with you. Lot of a mix of aspects as well. We had every different color of base and every different color of leader represented here, and the players in the Friday 1K ended up prize splitting the event, so they did not actually play out this cut. It was just prize split from this point, so we don't know which of these decks would have been the eventual winner, but that's what the meta looked like for the top 8. Now let's get into the 2K event, which was the larger event just played today, Saturday. So in the top 8 here, there were 3 Jango Red Tarkin Towns, a Han Solo double yellow, an Anakin Skywalker Blue 30 HP, Sabine ECL, so Sabine Green with the classic energy conversion lab, a Rey Red Tarkin Town, and a Kira Green 30 HP. So again, pretty diverse. This time Jango ended up with 3 of the top slots instead of with 2, but still a lot of different leaders, stuff from sets 1, 2, and 3. And for this event, they also did a prize split, but they did it a little differently. What they ended up doing this time was they did not prize split after top 8. They played the top 8, and the leaders that you're seeing on the top row here are the ones that ended up winning and moving on to top 4, at which point they did prize split, but they played out 2 matches as if they were sort of show matches, and the winner, or the virtual champion there, was John Tata from the KTOD tournament team, who was playing Jango Red Tarkin Town. He defeated the Han player, which was Philip from McClunky Gaming team, running that Han yellow, and then Tata was also victorious in a Jango Red Tarkin Town mirror against Ryan in the simulated final there. So shout out to Tata and to all the competitors here. Once again, I think we saw a pretty diverse field. Jango Red Tarkin Town maybe shining a bit as one of the standout builds. So if we look at the what that deck is trying to do, I think it's kind of the first big new deck that we're seeing here, and this was popularized by Bobby Sapphire from KTOD. He did well at, I think, a store showdown with this and made a video hyping it up, and a lot of players were on it. I think it might have been the most represented deck. I don't actually have overall meta composition, so I don't know for sure if this was the most played deck. It kind of felt like it from a casting perspective, but that doesn't necessarily mean that was the case. And it plays a similar game to the Boba Red Tarkin Town builds that we saw from set 2, where it's kind of an aggro tempo deck. It has a lot of space aggression, and it has good ways to disrupt other aggressive decks. It doesn't have the resource advantage that Boba had, but it actually has more disruption than Boba had, because Jango's ability on both his leader and unit side can lead to some powerful exhausts. So it ends up being a pretty strong aggro tempo composition. Probably, you might say that it's a bit slower than Boba, but it's more disruptive. I think it's especially getting against tall strategies and big upgraded units, because there's so many ways to exhaust them, and the ping damage that you get from various sources, such as ISB agent or that new starfighter that pings when played and when defeated, I believe the P-38, that can be very relevant against smaller stuff as well. And it's an interesting deck for sure, and one to watch out for as we move into the set 3 meta. So there was a nice mix of leaders from sets 1, 2, and 3. We had Sabine Wren, Ray, Quinlan. There was a bunch of stuff going on. Han won yellow. People talk about the Han won yellow cabal. I believe there's a channel for that over at the Bothan network, and Philip from McClunky Gaming gave a strong showing with double yellow Han in this event as well. So sets 1, 2, and 3 all representing leaders up here. A fair amount of different strategies. We didn't see any super hard control builds making the top 8, I think, but there were at least some people playing them. I remember actually seeing a streamed game where a Django Tarkentown got defeated pretty badly actually by a double blue Iden build that just felt very in control of the game. So there's a mix of archetypes, mix of strategies, some more control oriented, some more pure aggro. We got the aggro tempo with the Django, and it'll be interesting to see where things go. But one of the big takeaways for me is there was not a Sabine Wren takeover. So this was something that some people were really worried about after the Boba Fett ban went in. Some people thought, hey, with Boba banned, Sabine is going to be unstoppable, and the meta is just going to be all Sabine, and we're going to end up having to ban her too, because I think a lot of people perceived Boba as holding Sabine in check, with Sabine as a really powerful aggro deck and Boba as a threatening mid-range build. But some of the other mid-range decks proved actually quite able to deal with Sabine. I wouldn't say, oh, Sabine's out of there, she's no good, but she wasn't oppressive here. It felt like people were definitely able to play against her. I might be looking towards playing Cunning Sabine over the Sabine Green that is more commonly played. Not 100% sure, just something maybe to consider, but I think there's still potentially a lot of development with a new meta here for these Sabine builds, and it'll be interesting to see where they go. At least at first, though, it was not the case that with Boba gone, Sabine was just rolling over everybody. And I do think that there are other aggro decks that people might also be interested in playing. I know that there is the new Asajj Ventress leader, for instance, I think has some interesting possibilities for aggro, and there could be some other strategies that people try as well. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes, and I think a top priority right now, if you're interested in playing Sabine, is figuring out how to counter Django. The Django Red Tarkentown build is, I think, an aggro tempo deck that has a lot of ways to disrupt another aggro deck and win a race. So you might want to think about what you're going to do in that matchup. Personally, I might be looking to play fewer upgrades. You might not want to rely on the Darksaber game plan. Even if the opponent doesn't have upgrade removal, they might have a lot of ways to exhaust Sabine with, even if she has that Darksaber on her. And so I personally might be thinking about, Sabine Cunning, multiple small units, more options for fighting in space. Don't know for sure, but that's something that I might consider to be interesting. It'll be cool to see how that develops as things go on. At least for now, Sabine is not ruling the roost though, and I would not be overly concerned with her at this point. And that also means Sabine enthusiasts, if the rest of the events for this set go like this, I do not think Sabine's getting banned anytime soon. So you can breathe a sigh of relief if you were worried she was going to be suspended as well. And lastly, I want to say, if you want to get more detail on this, the Saturday 2K event was on stream. So McClunky Gaming came through. There was some concern about whether the internet was going to be good enough at the venue. They were able to set things up. They came through with the internet there. I think they had like some kind of mobile router they were using that worked great, actually. I ended up casting most of the event with Endless as my co-caster. Endless had to go towards the end, and I was joined by Dark from the McClunky Gaming team. You can check out that broadcast at the McClunky Gaming channel. I have a link in the video description below, and there will probably be edited VODs up later on the McClunky Gaming YouTube. So big shout out to Titanic and to Claire from McClunky Gaming for producing the stream. It was a ton of fun. I think it might have been the most successful Star Wars Unlimited tournament stream yet. I think it was certainly the biggest one of these McClunky Gaming streams that I've been doing. We had commentary, we had great interactions with the chat, and I was really happy to be a part of the broadcast. So if you want to check that out, I will have a link to the McClunky Gaming Twitch channel in the video description below, and you can see that there. Or maybe if you're watching this later, the the edited VODs will be up on McClunky Gaming's YouTube as well. But from a commentator's perspective, it was really fun and engaging to be casting this event, seeing how things go, seeing all the new decks, the exploration of the meta. I had been a little worried that I was going to end up commentating set 3 events where Boba Fett was just continuing to just dominate the meta. You know, I was worried we were going to see, someone's going to play a swarmy deck with tokens and stuff, and they're just going to get blown up by Overwhelming Barrage, and then someone's going to play, you know, Exploit and bringing out big units from the new set, and they're just going to get countered by Waylay. But with Boba banned and the new set out, the meta has been really interesting. It was very exciting to be able to cast this event and, you know, bring some commentary and discussion of the new meta there to the viewers. So thanks to Team McClunky for having me on stream. And if you're interested in seeing what these games looked like with commentary, you can check that out as well. All right, that is going to about do it for this one, guys. What do you think about these results and what they herald for the new meta? I'd be interested to hear your thoughts in the video description below. That's going to about do it for this one, guys. Thanks again for watching, and we'll be back later with some more Star Wars Unlimited content. I will catch you guys later.